This is a Just Time Out. It's real nice outside, you see. Goes out and all that stuff. I ain't no weatherman. I'm just here with a plan to see how many different places we can go to, have this internet going, so that we can have some IRL streams going on at the skate park, go up Bidwell Park. You know, we had the fires here. I'm gonna be able to go there and witness it there. Just saw an article saying they want to open up parts of it back to the public, so it's not just like out there being wasted all summertime. So that was a huge fire, huge fire. The cloud looked like an atomic bomb dropped. If you check out my Instagram, I got a picture. I'll put another one I got loaded up. But it was huge, huge. And it shows the community. It shows, like, where do you live? How do the people around you come together? A lot of people wait until accidents, natural disasters, so to speak, even though this one was started by somebody in their car. Imagine that. The fifth largest fire in California started by somebody in their car. And I saw it on Facebook, too. The guy was running. Was running away from his car after he dumped it in the woods. Somebody took a picture but was scared to get on him. They just took a picture of his back. It was like a 15, 16-year-old girl. Everybody was so mad at her. You should have jumped on him. You should have KO'd him. But he was a grown-ass man. But they got him now. They got him. But, yeah, it shows the community. Showing the fire and seeing a huge smoke cloud and not knowing which direction it's going to go. It'll show you how many inlaid fears that you have and how comfortable you are with yourself and what you've been doing to build, to connect with different people. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Because it all could be going just that. All could be going just like that. I was talking to one guy in the liquor store. He was saying, yeah, he went to all his liquor stores and took all the expensive bottles just in case and put them inside of a cart. So that he could just be going. But the way the wildlife changes, oh, there go a fire truck right there. I told you they still out there. They still out there. Thank you for your service. They staying at the hotels and everything. You see all these huge fire trucks just standing outside. Well, this is still on. Let's see if I can get an angle where it goes outside the car too. It doesn't seem to be. There it goes. If I go like this, we can all see out there. See where we heading and stuff like that. But yeah, what's going on with y'all? You know, it's thoughts into the mind. What is the way that we actually think about what's on the mind? How many different ways are there to think about? How many, hey, creator? How many different ways is there to tie it on down? To tie something on down? But just like think about it. What is a memory? These are questions you see people asking all the time. What is a memory? What is that? And I think we kind of always know these answers in the back of our minds, in the back of our latent curiosities. But we build up a whole reality of fascination to see what kind of answer we can literally make up. What kind of answer can I make up today? And you see people make up many things. People make up many ideas about why the wind blew. Well, why did the wind just blow? Oh, it just told me that you was trying to say something behind my back. Or, oh, no, the wind is blowing this way. The wind is blowing this way. That means I must bet this lottery number, and I will come out on top. It could be anything. It could be anything, bro. You know, when the wind blows, who knows what's in store?
Let's see if we can go up here and step the internet working. There's a lot of cool things up here. Yeah, podcasting, streaming world, everything becoming live together, or on YouTube, or even the friend. The mindfulness factor kicks in a lot of times. Just seeing what you're doing, why you doing it. Don't mean don't do it. Just thinking about it, just tying it all together. It's a rich world in our heads, and it's a rich world outside at the same time. So what's really the difference? The voices and the conversations you have with yourself, going out, whoop, and having them with other people, and so going on in the space that we exist in the mind. Like, is the mind really so just one-sided that it belongs to one person, or are we always sharing thoughts without even knowing? Is the world of people, not even just people, animals, are we sharing some layer of ideas, but how the body or the front man tunes into it like a radio or like a TV? But that TV is so sentient that it believes that it exists. And sometimes it believes it does exist, but sometimes it believes it's the only thing that exists, and that it's the thing that's coming up with the ideas. But we hear this thing all the time. When we hear, and I think that's what religion come through. Like, people talking about the, no, this is the case for religion being something that's really based on a lot of physicality more than what's conjured up in the mind. Like, you got to think about it more than that's just what they tell you. Because, I should turn right there. Yeah, I had a reason. Hold on, because it's more physical. It's all the mind, but just how they preach is more physical, because you're thinking about the Holy Spirit and things enacting with your body. Like, oh, I need to contact a God. I need to contact a devil. I need to contact a jinn. I need to contact a spirit. I need to contact this and that. But what if all those things was making the so-called person think what they're thinking in the first place? And that's what I mean by the difference of what is there to tie down, what is the thought, and what is the physicality of things. How do we attune? How have people attuned themselves to what they believe is real, or what they believe is what they just was thinking about? All right, let's try down here. Let's try that here. And y'all people in the video, if it starts buffering and stuff, please let me know so I can know where not to drop when doing this in the future. I'm out here doing some door dashing and stuff. But the real-time presence of your imagination, of the mind, is ever so present. And you can see it when you look at people that are full of themselves, or like really confident in themselves at the same time, moving forward with thoughts that they actually have and believing in themselves, to the point where they're not always even pronouncing their next move, but they're thinking about it. They got it in their mind. It's something in their mind that's conjuring their next action. And some people have learned to listen to that conjuration instead of trying to conjure something up with the physical mind, as a lot of people do with like those books called The Secret, and let me tell you what to do to manifest. They're starting with the physicality. I want this. I'm looking at here. Make this appear right there. When it all starts with your thinking, how you think about things, because that's dually related to what's happening. Like, if you pick up something from a certain area, you thought about moving it. Now, whether you got into the space where you was able to visualize yourself moving it before you moved it, that's another story. And some people are attuned to being like that. But as well, you can be attuned. If with the psychedelics, they allow. I know they awakened a lot of people to the first time of seeing what your mind is doing, especially if you've been running away from it or believed in it at one point and then was scarred by war, by relationships, by jobs, by the government, by family, by the Masons. People start denying their own thoughts and start saying, yeah, I thought that, but that ain't nothing. Yeah, I thought about doing something, but that was just a whisper. Or they'll think about something and then they'll visualize somebody else doing it. Like, yeah, that's what they do over there. That's what Martin Luther King did. Stuff like that. That's what Jesus did. That's what Muhammad did. That's what Buddha did. But it could be a lot of things of what do you want to do? And that's why you see a lot of people even get into this channeling thing, because there's so much physicality presented in their speech and pattern where they'll say, I'm channeling the Buddha, I'm channeling an alien, I'm channeling an ancient master, and stuff like that. When really, another perspective, you can look at that as them actually thinking about something. But entering a different faction of their mind where it seems foreign because of how they were raised and stuff like that. When in actuality, it's a signal. When in actuality, it's a signal, a sign of their own, of the genius of this thing that's always talked about through the centuries, written down in manuscripts, passed down oral traditions of just, hey, what is on your mind? How deep does it go? And how much do you believe in what you can produce? I look at the great architects. Don't start that now. Somebody gonna pick up on that. But the mushroom showed me in a bit, or my psychedelic experiences, they revealed to me in my own mind those aspects of people's so-called channeling. Because then you will say that in your own self. Oh, I'm channeling my grandma, channeling this. Yeah, it is those aspects of reality that is real and happening. But also, it's a different story that is speaking to that this is what the one is capable of. And if everything is a part of that one, like think of a hologram. If you take a piece of a hologram, it contains the whole in that hologram. Like, say it's a TV with different squares, an array of squares all around, and they come together to form an image. But if you take that one of those squares out, it still can hold the whole image that was on all of the squares when they were put together. So it's like that whole becomes one, but it still has the whole in itself. So it kind of breaks itself down naturally like that. So with our thinking is not that to run around saying God and we're God and stuff like that, but to recognize what the stories that we've been reading all of this time was actually saying. What the voice in our mind was always saying. I was listening to this one guy, DMT experience yesterday, and he was mentioning, no, it was somebody else's report. Oh, man, hey, we back. The phone got overheated. Y'all see these iPhones, all this technology that they put into it, all this so-called wisdom, but they still can't even take a little heat. I'm over here putting it next to the what is that? The air conditioner. Like, come on, we gotta work. We gotta go live again. I need to laugh. But I don't want all of this noise though. Let me know if it's too much air conditioner noise in the background. I'm gonna try to keep it on a little low, but high enough that it does not overheat. Hey, Velvet. I see you over there on Instagram. Keeping it live. Keeping it live. But yeah, we was tying down the mind, and how psychedelics a lot of times reveal was actually on it, and how people attributed a lot of things to genius, or when they actually get to certain things that they're thinking about, they'll attribute it to somebody else. Like they got a good idea and they say, oh yeah, I see Martin Luther King doing it, or stuff like that. Or I see my buddy doing something like this. But really it's probably something they want to do. And I was going off saying I was listening to somebody talk about somebody else's DMT trip. And when he took the couple totes or whatever, you know what you do. Well, you in there trying to get there. Were you already there? But he didn't recognize that he was already there. So when he took the couple totes, he said he entered a space where he was in a council, like the council of Jedis you saw in Star Wars, and you see them, the apprentice or the Obi-Wan walk in, and they all like sitting in their chairs. Yeah, you're here now. And and the curiosities, I would say, that's in the back of his head that was saying how reality worked, like how it was all one and all connected, and different factions that was coming, they were all talking to him about it, but he didn't believe it. But they were saying, you always thought like this. And then he started thinking like, yeah, I did always think like this. I didn't, like, that's how I knew he didn't believe it, because he said, I didn't believe it. I didn't see it like that. And then he said one of them actually was getting a little upset at him. Was getting a little upset at him that he didn't remember what he didn't like, wasn't confident in what he believed in the back of his mind, what he knew already. Because DMT, when you get to a certain level, it doesn't really reveal anything new. It brings about a lot of so-called memories. But bring it down to the faction of us here, so-called on Earth, or melt it into this melting pot from all different ideas and everything, coming down and forming what we symbolize as a us or a me and stuff like that. Those thoughts can carry. Say that the person in the chamber room, Jedi chamber room, that was like kind of upset that he didn't get it. Say that was just the person was walking throughout the day and they felt as though they wanted to go do something, but then they had a thought that was like, nah, it ain't worth it, or nah, it ain't really like that, or nah, it's gonna be a waste of time. Imagine then that voice, that entity or whatever, coming back into presence and say, oh, why are you doing this? You know you can. Or, oh, come on. But it will come in a different faction to the person just walking down the street in their so-called imagination, their magi nation. So how it plays off here is how it will also play off there. That's why I say confidence is has a lot of factors that you really have to judge for yourself, because it's how you see it's how you see yourself. It's all in the working. It's all in the name. It's so simple. Like, say somebody trying to dance. Like, they really got to see themselves as that dancer. If they want to go twirling, do the backflip here and there, do the Jabberwocky, do some break dances. Even that lady that was break dancing at the Olympics. And then she said she had a PhD in Olympics and nobody knew what she was doing. But then later it came out, she was from like another country. But then not America. But then it came out that she said she made up all of those moves. She knew what she was going to do. She just was going to enact it on you. That's why she did it with a smile. She knew how it was going to go down. She was going to go for miles. And that she did. That she did. Now look who they talking about even more than the break dancers, who was actually killing it. Person that went in there and just made up their own thing and seeded. You know, that doesn't always matter, but still, it's all connected. It all ties itself down. Ties itself up as well. Oh. Hold on one second. Let me make sure this is still on. Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of people I see that take psychedelics, they can go on there. It's a lot of journeys that humans are going to create, that the mind is going to produce, but it's ways of what a lot of people call for, to not have so much anxiety during the day, or a lot of their questions to be answered, even though there are no solidified answers. But how I kind of mentioned before, just going off your confidence and what you're being shown and stuff like that, and your memories and how we conjugate them together, how we keep it smooth. I was thinking yesterday, like, a lot of people want to be themselves, and then they go off being themselves, but then they'll be like just the bad things or things that hurt themselves. Like, when you think of being yourself, sometimes the psychedelics say be the good parts of yourself. Of course, you could be anything. You could be anything. Why not be the curious parts of yourself, the work it out parts of yourself? Like, it's all just a choice. It's all just a choice in the matter of the game. As people take a lot of big doses, go out here saying things, and then you'll still see their life being entangled with things from when you see them on the outside. It looks as though they have the answer, but they're looking over the answer. It's like it's right here, and they're like, wait. wait. They just like keep looking over the answer, literally, and it's right in their face. Keep things simple. Keep things simple, man. It's a big world that we in right now, with the AI and everything changing and upgrading weekly. Every time we go on and search for something new with the AI, something wild that's to be in store. I'm actually coming out with a book. I'm waiting for Amazon to approve it now, but it's about AI and getting people up to date on what LLM models are, large language models, and how they're being implemented in today's world, in business and arts and the classrooms. The legality things. I go down. It's about like a good 51 pages. But it should be coming out soon, because I've been real intertwined with the stories and seeing what's going on with how all of this is changing everything that I was just mentioning about, and how it affects people on the poor scale, all the way up to the rich folks, all the way up to the people don't even call themselves rich. They just like moving. But I want to go more of it on the other podcasts, on the sci-fi type podcast, where I can bring some stuff up, because it ties into how the psychedelics is unlocking memory for people, and how the technology of AI is in allowing people to have so-called memory more. Like, what happened on this day? How does this interact with this? By just asking things, and it's popping up because it has a large database to draw from that we all been contributing to all this time. Oh yeah. The capabilities of the AI is nothing but just a fraction of not just us as humans, but an extension of how we're seeing the mind at play, the mind at work. I remember Terrence McKenna bringing up how the fleshly bodies are now being able to move into a different realm of reality. And it's this show called Upload on Amazon Prime, it was pretty fascinating. It's about instead of going into the so-called natural death, you can upload your memories, yourself, to a virtual world that's ran by this company that has some things go down with it later, but it's ran by this company where then you could just live there, and people that's not so-called dead can still see you and talk to you when they put on the virtual reality helmet while you living your life in the virtual resort and stuff like that, and still communicate back and forth. So what Terrence was bringing on, what I'm tying together, is how in the psychedelic space and how we say time doesn't exist. This is not real. This anything is possible. We're seeing that a lot more with digital technology. We see it all the time with regular life. You just have to see it you just gotta have the eye to see. Believe the world around you is as magical as it feels. But as with the technology, the computer technology, it's coming out with a lot of things that people have experienced on their psychedelic journeys, as well as being created by a lot of people that have ingested psychedelics, the LSD, tryptamines, the magic mushrooms, the it's the mollies too. Mollies get people real chill and relax. But it's really the human working with these plant substances and not being out in the woods or building pyramids this time, but working with computer technology, the kind of computers we have now, the iPhones, the Macintoshes, the Windows PCs, the handheld emulators, the Game Boys and everything. This is what we've come to. You think those Nintendo people ain't on some mushrooms and stuff? That's the easiest one to point out. That's one of the easiest ones to point out. But how we experience time while playing these games, it changes it for the person doing it. Like all of these simulators, like it's stimulating the mind. It's stimulating the mind or simulating. But if it's stimulating the mind, what is the difference as well between what's actually occurring? Just tie on that. Just tie. I know it trickles down to if you look at somebody running a lot on the TV and you ain't running yourself, when you look down at your legs, they gonna be skinny mini, and you ain't gonna be able to do the things that you was thinking about or this conjuration of thoughts that put all those thoughts together. Oh, I saw that. Oh, I could do this. When you try to do it, ain't be able to, because this conjuration that's thinking of me, of Santai, also exists with the body. That's why Todd doesn't really exist, but we all exist. So don't get caught up in too many people that say you don't exist, because they're trying to run away from their problems that exist with the body. But hey, as we all get into the flow of things, it's different ways that we encounter that other self. That so-called other self. But as I was bringing up earlier, hey, true life. Hey. But as I was bringing up earlier, the DMT for a lot of people, and you all brought this up yesterday on True Life Story. He said DMT. I don't know if he said him or it awakens the mind period. I think he said awaken mind period. To being able to daydream all day, to daydream as people dream. And how does that enact on the person now going about their daily life? And tying it on from what we was talking about before, that now includes the acknowledge. We back on. Come on, tell me something good. All right. I'm trying not to have it blasting so y'all don't hear it. But we're gonna work it out. But what I was tying on before was that when you start having those daydreams and stuff, and then you allow the DMT, or the person allows the DMT, the mushrooms, or life to just exist as it does, it makes it so that acknowledgement of everything that they witness, they acknowledge in everything they actually witness. So it's able to be in their perception, on call, on demand, even something new that hasn't even happened yet, that is not even occurring, or is occurring right now. I talked about earlier when I was telling that the person that took the DMT, when he was in the Council of the Jedi, it was the one person that was kind of upset at him because he wasn't really acknowledging that he understood what was going on. He was still kind of freaking out, or still like, well, is this really happening? Like, is life really all connected? Like, what am I seeing right now? Even though he's feeling it, even though he's seeing it right now. So the acceptance factor of letting go is a lot different than what people say, because they'll tell you to let go of your body as if it's not connected to everything else. But you see what they're saying. You see what people are trying to preach. You'll run across a lot of people that are trying to preach instead of talking. So when people preach, they'll give a catchphrase that can overarch somebody's thought patterns, where then they'll always try to latch on to that part without much depth to it. So then that creates a journey for sure. An awesome journey that they gonna be in the trenches. They gonna be in the trenches, and that's where you create real masters. We all real masters, but y'all get it. Y'all feel the enthusiasm, I hope. Was blind, but now I see something. You say you seen a preacher female today? I grew up under a male-female preacher combo. It was him and his wife. They was pretty cool. But what I'm talking about more in depth is like getting into family situations, get into why we think the things that we think in the first place. As opposed to, oh, you thinking that means just this. Oh, that generally means this or that. You said that means you should do that. Instead of like, wait, where did this thought first come from in the person's own matrix of reality? Like, who did they grow up with? Who did they idolize? Who did they try to shy away from? Who was in their face? Like, what did they eat? They grew up in an environment where it's cold, or they grew up in an environment where it's always hot. Like in Finland, I used to listen to this band called Him, and I remember he used to say how it was a lot of people asking why he makes sad songs in a certain way, and he was saying, I think it's because of the cold. It's always cold here. It's like we're not sad, but we just have a certain way of looking at things. Like a melancholic kind of thing. But yeah. There's a lot more questions to ask than just telling somebody what to do because you heard them say something. Hey, just say, yeah, but it was trippy because she had a dress on with her shoulders out, but she still had the little thing around her neck with the little white thing. It looked weird, but it was. I gotta finish the rest. I think they only let you write a certain amount of characters on YouTube. The little white thing, was she a Catholic priest? Am I a priest or a preacher? In the sundress? Hey, it's a new age. It's a new age. But yeah, technology, propaganda. It's funny because a lot of the tools that people have unlocked in their mind through psychedelics, you won't always hear about either. You won't hear about it. You won't hear about it, but you'll see about it in cartoons, in movies, and in the way that people say they move. Like, oh, they. Oh, it was like a sundress. Okay. I was thinking that. And it's hot outside. They got to be able to move, breathe too. But with the yeah, a lot of tools, a lot of things locked in the mind that people never hear about. And you hear people say this too when they say keep magic a secret. A lot of people, this is like a fact that I found that a lot of people are actually working on, even through my own experiences on how I pronounce myself to certain people, or how you'll see other people pronounce themselves to you And then you be like, wait, I never knew you actually do all of those things. You were just acting like so-called normal. You an architect? What? You built this? You think this? You think like that? Because it's all in the mind. It's always connected. It's always connected. What is the thing that's talking? It's a mouthpiece that allows for communication, for us to connect on a certain level, but there are many levels. I was reading something about the Native American, the indigenous tribes in America, how they used to just smoke, walk into the teepee, just be smoking, not say a word, and then they'll route, and then something happened. Something happened. They was listening to the conjurations of their mind and what it was planning out, and talking to each other and honoring that fact, honoring that reality, as well as then go outside and sing a bunch of songs and talk about taxes and stuff. Give me my money. True found that out on his show. I saw other scholars talk about that. They said a lot of the ancient scribes and stuff, like what they actually wrote down on the Rosetta Stone too, was a bunch of taxes. Like, hey, you owe me money. Make sure this group of people over here remember that. Language is always going to be language. Language is always going to be language. But how we see technology now mimicking what people call sci-fi, or what people called magic, if they tried to do it themselves. I was watching a 60 Minutes documentary yesterday, and they was talking about, it was a guy talking about how he can put people in an MRI machine, and because they scanned their brain before when they were thinking about a certain object, they can see what they're thinking about, or have a semblance of what they're thinking about, based off of their previous research, what I was just talking. And he said in the future, he wanted to be able to beam a light beam at your head and be able to see what's so-called on your mind, or what your brain is thinking about. But they came across some interesting things. Like, one thing they came across was, it was a part in the center of the brain and in the front of the brain that when the person is thinking about the self, it lights up. But in depressed people, that's prone to suicide, when they were putting them under the MRI machine, it was only like one part of the brain that was lighting up. It was kind of more towards the front, but not full of the prefrontal cortex, a little more towards the back of that little area. And they were saying how the people that's suicidal most of the time don't talk of events as if they are in that event. Like, say you giving somebody a hug, like, yeah, I hugged that person, it felt so nice, they gave me a hug. They'll probably say, oh yeah, it was like a hug going on and stuff like that. They would like talk about it as if it was an out-of-body experience. And I remember talking like this when I was young. I used to always say, I feel like I'm a third person outside of my body, just feeding my body information and what to do. And then I just let it do what it do and watch it do what it do and stuff like that. So I want to say there is there's a key that is given to people that are in this state of mind, that if they can use it to unlock that door instead of staying in that space, it becomes a lot of things that they always dreamed about and more. Because most people just dream about bad things or harsh realities. But there's much greater things going on. And to tie it to the brain, what I was talking about, imagine if somebody is not thinking about suicide, but thinking about like riding a dragon or something like that, flying a dragon through the clouds. Their brain under MRI may be similar to having not so much control of thinking about the self as the body, when like the other patients that they scanned, but probably similar to the so-called suicide patient that see themselves outside of their body a lot of times throughout the day. So yeah, it's a lot of things that's tying together. It's a lot of things that's tying together, no matter the weather. But it's pretty interesting to witness. It's pretty interesting to witness, because the people that's developing this technology probably have a semblance of how they view things or how they experience reality at a point. And then when they interact or try to create a new tool with technology, they are now putting their worth into it, their spirit into it. No, even if they know it or not, like fully aware of it, because it's them. Like the story is always enacting on itself. like that thing when they say, you don't see it, but other people see it in you. Rather for the so-called good or bad. Like, you don't know how great you are? You don't know how good you are? You don't see what you already doing? Stuff like that. Everything is all connected. Somebody even connected JoJo Siwa to the Pepe Lord Frog, because they was going down talking about how breaking down how JoJo came from Joseph. He was a linguistics guy, so he was breaking down how it came from Latin, how it came from the Greek. He was going all the way back and showed that JoJo is similar to Pepe Frog lore. So even in the irony of life, things connect with each other. Yeah, it's so ironic yet so simple. Yeah. And it's not very confusing either as people make it. Like with the presidents and everything happening right now, we got the shootings, we got Trump being a mega celebrity star, we got Kamala being judged by her race, now like learning to talk different, having Megan Thee Stallion on the stage. Like when that person made the movie Idiocracy, imagine how he's laughing about the sink of the world in his own life now, how he's enacting in things. I'm telling you, it just happens. It just happens. Like people say, oh, the Simpsons characters, Simpsons creators, they know what's going on. They know what's going on. They don't know what's going on, but they know what's going on because of the certain layer of the mind that realizes patterns. It can seem like the person sees the future, but is realizing the reality that's always happening. That's why people will write stories and stuff like that. And when you tell the story to another person, they can then see the pattern of life. Most of the time they get caught up in the actual story and then try to be the character. I'm Superman. I'm Superman. I'm Jesus. I'm this and that, especially when they get high off that meth and stuff. I'm Jesus Christ. What? Yeah. Oh, that joke took me for a second. Yeah. I'm trying to get back to where we were. This weed is definitely not helping. It's like, let me not say that. This weed is definitely going to bring back all the memories and help us get back to where we was just at. That's the thing about the mind. It's always there. It's always aware. Just jump on the board back where you can, and everything will always seem like it was on track. uh, I think we was going on like Kamala Harris and the presidents and stuff, and going off just what's happening in reality. Oh yeah, in the mind space on what's enacting on the back of the mind and how those are seeing the pattern of life of what's actually happening in existence and writing stories and stuff like that that people pass down and then show people the pattern of life, then they get caught in Jesus story and stuff like that. Yeah, the Jesus story. And but it's all pointing to the one thing of there are certain patterns in life. Like I say, history doesn't repeat itself, but history rhymes. History rhymes all the time. So when they say, oh, this is an old soul, when they're talking to young people that are so-called wise, they're probably tapped into the part of their mind where those things are apparent to them. And I think it does have a lot to do, it's just very readily apparent to them. And I wanted to go more into this on the podcast, but I'll bring it up now. I was watching, and it's going to be an article on the Just Thai Mushroom page I made last night. But there is a, I don't know the exact term, I'm just going to say supreme autobiographical syndrome or something, where people are able to remember days of the week, like the weather that happened on a particular day, or almost everything that happened during their life. They can bring it up. But the gist of it was that when they're recalling these memories, it's not like a game they have to play. It's something that they readily see in front of their face. Like when you're thinking about yesterday, a person can think about 5-6 years ago and smell the smells, see the exact thing that they was thinking, see around them and stuff like that. And this was on a 60 Minutes documentary I was watching. And this was just showing the parts of the mind that's readily available. And they did scan their actual brains and saw that in the physical sense, their brains were a little different in how they were firing off, how the neurons were communicating with each other. It was different than other patients that they had. But these people were remarkable. They were able to, and they tested them too. One of the reporters actually got her friend that she knew for like 20 years and asked her about a date that they had on camera. And she talked about the singing. She was able to relive all of those memories. She was able to relive it all. And then that started showing to me what's going on with psychedelics and microdosing and just the memory faction of having memories come back to you. Like, when people first start doing psychedelics, they start saying they can remember their childhood again. They starting to get memories on how they learned how to walk, how they learned, where they learned they swag from, where they learned how to, like, on God, like where they learned all of those phrases from. And I think the story keeps on going. The story of remembering what's actually going on keeps on going. It keeps on enacting on itself, or enacting on the experience. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to see the mind, to see us at work, see that one thing at work. Because now we see it happening with AI. People are creating AI technologies that's helping people remember things a lot more. It's this new thing out with the Apple VR headset where you're able to record things in the spatial sense, like SPATIAL, that word. And you're able to record in 3D space, like it uses the LiDAR sensors to track the depth perception between different things. So then when you watch it again in the VR helmet, you can actually walk around the experience and see it from different angles. Now, this is just like having a memory, a vivid memory, a memory that's happening in real time, just like the people in 60 Minutes, just like when people are having a psychedelic experience or sitting down meditating or being very mindful, just simply mindful of their situation and their progress and their progression, just as a human being, just being a human being. We're seeing our technology develop to help as a tool to assist the human being in these procedures. And you hear a lot of people, I saw in some comments saying, oh, you don't want all your memories back. You don't want all your memories back because then you're going to be tortured and stuff. You're not going to know what to do. But that's nothing but another journey to face what other people call the shadow self. Like, confidence doesn't come out of nowhere. Confidence comes from the things that we actually face within ourselves. True confidence. Face within ourselves. It's time now. Just time, man. And now it seems as a time better than ever to face the things that we have within ourselves. Now, you always hear somebody saying something like that. Right now, I'm just saying it. You probably said it too. Yeah. Yeah, but the more we visit ourselves with the imagination of ourselves, we see ourselves. Even when you bring the imaginations of other people, of what they have. You said memory, hey, Khan Milan. He said memory sounds like a memorial, as if memories are a death in a way. Can you extrapolate on that? A death of an experience, or like as in a transition to a new moment? And yeah, because when a person in a way say we are our memories, that's so true. But as well, you in the psychedelic experience, this is extrapolating right now, but in psychedelic experience, you see past that weave all of these memories as well, to be able to say that we are memories. Like to say, so it's forces out in the world that then create stuff with memories and then push it out into existence, into time, that then creates space. Because in order to have space, you need a time and a place, so to speak. Like, that's the basics of our physics that we have here on Earth. It all starts with a time and a place, and then you work from there. Now they're working with different times and different spaces when you get the quantum mechanics and when they talk about parallel realities and the multiverse and stuff like that. Even Michio Kaku is getting out there enough to talk about these on the big stages of the world that we live in. Because all is always going to point to the same thing in different ways. Because nobody's ever wrong. It's just what we do. It's that like my concept, like a memory is a past moment, but that moment is particularly over and has passed on. The now moment is like a rebirth, which is why we're always creating in the now. It's like a past moment. It's like a past moment. But what I was saying before, it can be as real as a moment happening now. Like the people that had the autobiographical syndrome, like they remember the weather and everything, they feel as though it's happening now. And in my personal experience, words, but in my personal experience, and experiences, you'll start to see how the things that's on your mind start to entangle with even your physical senses. Like, say you imagining yourself riding a bike, and then you fall on that bike. Some people won't even say It's like they probably see themselves rolling around, dipping, knowing how to fall. Other people, I knew I should never did this. Or they probably feel like they leg tremble, like jump or something like that. And in other ways, thinking about coding, thinking about developing an application and visualizing that application and feeling though it's real, and then having the inspirations come to actually develop that thing, and feeling as though you know it, like you always knew it. I just got to do this. I just was visualizing this, and I got to do this. Or even back to the physical sense, you ever be in a dream and stuff like that, and then your body start moving when you do something in a dream, like reacting to it as if it's happening. Stuff like that. Or what does a person mean when they say, I really feel as though I can do this? Like when a champion says, I really feel as though I can do this. Like they're visualizing in their mind. Like imagine, they say like when you shoot the free throws, they say visualize in your mind before you throw it a couple of times. Just imagine, yeah, woo, I did that one. And then go out there, mimic the same movement. Or like when you do the racing games and stuff like that, and they have the ghost trail, or you do your best trial, your time trial, and then you try to beat that time trial, and they show the ghost trail doing the exact movements that you do. So then you see if you want to do the same thing. I like how I took that curve right there, but this time I'm going to... All right, we black up in here. We nothing but black. Black on everything. Black on black on black on black on black. All right, let's jump back in. All right. He was like, that's why I think they say many lives. The lives are the memories from that expression of stream of consciousness, which is still the one consciousness, but looking at itself from a certain reference point, which is the experience in the what we call now. But all the times are the now until we separate it. Let me do a little parting. Let me put a little part. Let me put a part in your hair. Yeah. Cause I'm back in black. That was a banging bass line. I love that bass line. Hey John. Hola. But yeah, it's all happening now, kind of like you're saying. And it seems so extravagant. But when you in an extreme circumstance and you like see that everything's happening now, it kind of is one of the biggest motivations. Like imagine Cherie Cardison. Forgive me. Like, imagine her out on the field, on the track field. She thinking about the now. And her now exists of so many past lives of running track, even ones that we witnessed on the camera. And then all she like, we enacting this now. This is what we are doing. We out here. And this is the focus. This is what we doing. Shakardi Richardson. Oh, okay, there we go. I know it got Richardson. I know I got Card. Yeah, it's a couple dimensions to this. Let me back up. I can take this order while we're here. But yeah, it's so many parts. Imagine on the field. Just all it is the now. And all of that now, the more she believe in the now, the more she start literally flying. I saw her on the Olympics. They was, whoo! And then at a certain point, they was neck to neck. She looked at her like, and then took off. Let me get up in here. All right, yeah, and then she just took off. She took off on the look off. My skateboard, I gotta get the stuff out the back. Yeah, we stay working. Yeah, all sides is used. All sides are used up and you learn. Uh-oh. Give me a sec, guys. Bring this back seat up. Here we go. Yeah, it's a nice day. Nice day. All right, we clean. You gotta love it when you see it. You gotta love it when you see it. Because when people see it, they definitely do love it. They entranced by it. They like, what is going on? There we go. Gotta fix that. We gonna get that fixed. Hey, Kanye said, hey, what if we traveling through memories like little points of time or something? My big head, but it ain't holding all these memories. Yeah. Yep. That's why Exile Sheev always bring up that story. Bring it up for the lore of the game. Where he says he had the accident and he was unconscious and stuff. And he forgot who he was in a way. And then his memories came back of who he was. He was the same body, same person, but thought different about who he actually was. I'm trying to get this out. The heck? There we go. Got the own Flintstones. They's in the car. Just eating them as a snack. They don't got no real vitamins in there. But yeah. Yeah, he talks about how he then he got the memories back. So where did these memories go? Where were they in the first place? Moving through time or moving through memory. Like, oh, I remember this. Or we walking around right now saying, oh yeah, I remember all of this. This is what I'm gonna do this time. Or this is what we do this time. What would be the difference? What would be the difference? People beat themselves up over reality trips that's not even made to be tripped out over. Or they are, but don't trip out over. And what came first? The chicken or the egg? I need to know what came first, the chicken or the egg. How about come up with a story where the chicken came first and then come up with a story where the egg came first and be satisfied with both? Or have one where the chicken and the egg came about at the same time. It's like old people can't eat more than 2 a day, man. Yesterday I had like 10. I'm high off vitamins. But we bought them. I told her that they was already expired. Or she got them and then saw that they was expired. It's like, yeah, I guess that. That bargain market life. Put it up at the counter. They try to get rid of stuff. The supermarket is fully designed to get your attention and is always changing to get your attention. Yeah, they do. I was telling my daughter it's like having fruit, like having old fruit. That fruit ain't as nutritious as it once used to be. Where is that on here? I think it was on the lid, and I threw the lid away. Yeah, that's what happened. Oh. Hey, somebody bring over the black bulbs. I need some black light over here. I got a show to put on. Keep this on the charger. Keep this on the charger. In the shade. And that B12 became a B6. All right. Hey. What was I on? What was I on before the vitamin take? Oh yeah, about the stores. And the stores, how they're all was changing to get your attention and stuff like that. Like even the way the doors open, like depending on which way people usually walk down the aisle from how they tracked is like that. And now, how I was saying with the AI, it's becoming, how I say AI is now becoming more of what our mind does, like with memory. Like, am I remembering this? Oh, this is how I like things to be. Like, that's all business is, trying to get things to be like how you think you want them to be. That's the illusion game. That's how they get you so comfortable. But that's how we get ourselves so comfortable, because it's just us doing the thing. It's just still our choice at a certain level what we choose to participate in. Yeah, that's all. But now with the AI, it's this new thing that is actually bringing about some controversy, because now they have AI to analyze all this statistical data so that they can have the price of food dependent on the location and the tax, not even the tax margin, but just from the tax margin of the people that they see coming from the store from all the data they collected. So it's one grocery outlet can cost more than the other one. One Trader Joe's food can cost more than you go to another town and it'll cost less. And they're not trying to do it to help people either. Just to throw that out there all the way. It was some other thing the guy was trying to run through to pass some game on. To say that it's not just to make it affordable, because they're still going to adjust the prices. So you're paying $17 for a bag of grapes, somebody was saying. I haven't brought grapes in a while for that reason. But yeah, besides that, we'll get some grapes. We'll feel great. We'll see how it happens. I said, well, anything that happens with the mind, it can either be used as against a person, against a society, or for a society. So as it comes with technology and all of this new magic things that it's going to be able to do for businesses, and even on a personal level, it's going to be an intention to just seeing what the person can do, whether they're scared of it or they dive into it or use it a little bit here and there. Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see the dynamics play out. Because the fear, there's going to be some fear that has to be present with surveillance, like how we seen in the movies and stuff like that. I'm watching you. We got the drones in the sky. And then people with their hacking devices to make the drones fall. They got their little Flipper Zero. Look that up, little Flipper Zero. Get some help the AI. Their AI can now help them code when they wasn't able to code things before. But then I got AI help them code the put a like shield around their house or something. Stop the hackers from getting in. And things gonna be so connected. So connected. But it already is. It already is. And with that, my friends, I'm going to tie you on out of here. Catch y'all on the Thai side. Yeah, catch you on the Thai side. Thank y'all for coming on through. And check out the Just Thai Now, mushrooms.com. You can check out a lot of articles on ancient cultural use of psychedelics, modern use. New articles coming out. Going to post them daily. I got some games on there if you're getting some meditation or found yourself in the in-between zone, so to speak. Or you're always in that in-between. You just want to zone out, play some cool click games, see some orbs float around. I'm going to add some more. I got True Life on there where you can see some articles I created from some of his trip stories and other participants of his channel, as well as this other thing on there where you can click on it and you can click through a playlist of his videos, and it like has this trippy animations in the background and makes the screen flow. I got one for him and one for the Sci-Top podcast. And if you got any ideas and stuff like that, or want to be like a journalist on the JustTiMushroom.com page, hit me up. JustTi@JustTiNow.com, you know. And this episode was brought to you by us. So I'll catch y'all later. Peace out, Velvet.